Growing up with a PlayStation 1 or 2 was a glorious time of plastic ass blasting. Whatever happened to these games, and does anyone even remember these things? We take a look back on this forgotten gaming vault. Once upon a time, one of the best-selling franchises was 3DO's version of video game Army Men. Started off with simply Army Men and made its way into somewhat of its own genre. It was a different gaming landscape back then, with a lot of sequels based around the same game. Not just a trilogy or anything like that, a couple sequels, no. There was like 10 games made around the same fucking universe here. What I mean by this is first was Army Men, then came Sarges Heroes, Army Men Air Combat, Army Men World at War, and these were all different series, but they were based around the same thing. And the games I just listed really made up the bulk of the franchise's prime. It was simply fun as shit. You played with these toys, then bam, a fucking video game was made on it, and they came out dope. Now let's break down some of the reasons why. First off, and one of the most hilarious parts of the game, they would incorporate real world things into this plastic battle for toy supremacy in the most genius of ways. As we just saw, the sun and magnifying glasses. Doesn't seem too important in our world, in a world where you're made of plastic. Weapons of mass destruction.
Turning soldiers into spiders. That madman has gone too far. I hate spiders. Trap! Hang on, buddy!
Biological warfare. Not too sure how that one works, but hey, looks like it's pretty fucking effective. And portals.
A portal.
Yes, portals.
A portal.
Say it again, Sarge.
A portal.
Now this is hilarious, because the Colonel in the game, Colonel Grimm, he would call these things weapons of mass destruction.
Dead from Plastro's new super weapon.
And I guess if you're in that situation and you're made of plastic, these were considered weapons of mass destruction. Which is hilarious in itself. You know, we call nukes that, and these little plastic fuckers are calling magnifying glasses that. Needless to say, I really have no idea what the biological warfare or the real world equivalent of turning these men into bugs is, but shit, I mean, imagine that in combat. We could learn something here, 3DO. Spill the beans, pal. Release the contract. PlayStation 1 era was god. For example, let's take a deeper dive at Sarges Heroes. You had a unit of stereotype characters that were actually pretty funny. Hoover, Shrap, Riff, Scorch, and Thick. And they all had their own profiles and personalities. Hoover was an absolute pussy, a minesweeper, yet necessary for obvious reasons. His mission sucked because you pretty much had to cover his bitch ass while 30 tan guys were blasting on him and you. It's not like you had cover to go into. It was left bumper, right bumper. You better get good at pressing those and running back left, back right, back left, back right on repeat. But once you mastered it, you were untouchable. The Plastic Rambo. Then we got Shrap, who was the explosives demo guy. They made him like this retarded surfer guy, but hey, it worked. I mean, he had a good personality and a fucking sweet beanie, bro. Then we got Riff. He's the bazooka dude who talks smooth, definitely loves jazz music. I think he mentions it in there, probably has a John Coltrane tattoo on his ass. And then we get the Scorch, the maniac of the group. The fucking John Bernthal of Sarge's Heroes. The plastic guy who loved fire, even though, well, he was made out of plastic. Man's got balls, I gotta say. And lastly, we got Thick, whose name is a good indication as to the type of character he is. An absolute idiot. Like, they used to show the intelligence bar, this guy had like a 1% out of 100. So he was an absolute idiot, but he would lay down the LMG and was like the cover fire, heavy gunner, and he filled the role pretty well. Throw in Colonel Grimm's daughter Vicky, who has a good habit of getting caught and recording and reporting on useless shit.
His possession.
Not enough.
Uh-oh.
And together they form the ultimate Army Men kick your ass squad. And then on the other side we got General Plastro, who's a pretty funny dude, ends up getting chewed the hell up by a dog, but he is responsible for this scene right here where he punches little man out of a window.
Yes, little man.
Colonel Grimm and the Sarge have escaped our forces and have captured a blue intelligence officer and, well, to make matters worse, Sarge found one of our portals.
What?
Colonel Grimm and Sarge have escaped.
I heard you. It was a rhetorical what?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Toy robots, dogs, they all play a factor. I mean, they really did a good job adding random human elements to this secret war of toys. And then there's Army Men Air Combat, and in case you didn't get enough playing with these plastic soldiers, we got some fucking plastic planes. I mean, check out how funny these covers are. The burning plastic will make me laugh every time. That guy is stuck to a grill there. They even threw a fucking hot dog next to it. And the greatest thing about it was I, a stupid kid trying to reenact these games, would burn all my plastic army men to replicate the gaming experience. God, what a backwards asshat I was, and I'm sorry to my parents' wallets. But these air combat games, they kept Colonel Grimm from Sarges Hero's franchise, and they added some other funny characters like Baron von Beige, which honestly sounds like an insult to a light-skinned rapper nowadays, but it was genius back then, it's genius nowadays. They came out with so many surrounding this same atmosphere, and Army Men games were absolute crack back in the day. I mean, I remember I needed these things. And then I guess 3DO tried updating with the times, and my lord, they made this monstrosity. Hideous. Absolutely hideous. Goddamn right. Needless to say, this was the downfall of the series, and we haven't seen much since. But there's rumors of a PS5 being backwards compatible for every PlayStation console. I still regret the day I got my PS3 and did not get it backwards compatible, because I can't play any of the games I used to love. Lord please, I will relive my entire childhood and more with this. Seeing how big the franchise was, and expanding into multiple different Army games, and then the brutal, curb-stomping ending to this franchise really ended all Army Men games. It'd be cool as hell to see a comeback, or at least a chance to replay on PS5. Guys, this is the Forgotten Game Vault for the day. Army Men franchise. I'll catch y'all tomorrow with the next one.